Back to the Words from the Nerds podcast. This is a little bit different. So we'll get into the Attack on Titan discussion. If you didn't watch last episode and you're only watching this one, if you're a new viewer, we had a 3 hour episode that we recorded talking about a ton of things. We started with Attack on Titan, which went for an hour and a half. And then we had our Mandalorian and Grogu review, The Boys. We talked about box office stuff. So, because our Attack on Titan discussion was so good and because it was so long, instead of uploading a 3 hour episode, I decided to splice it. So, you'll see me get into an intro here, talking with Brandon and Charley. All of that still stands. It's just going to be a little bit different. There won't be any time codes down below that pertain to these other projects. It will just be an Attack on Titan episode. So fast forward through that or disregard the little intro that I do. But I introduce Brandon and Charley. So it's I don't know. If you're a first time viewer, you can kind of get that introduction. So no Ben on this episode. It is just me, Brandon, Charley talking about Attack on Titan, and it is a lot of fun, especially because Charley has never seen Attack on Titan before. So this is a first-time viewer watching Attack on Titan and getting all of his thoughts of all the fun stuff on your feet, Dad, all of that glorious things. So enjoy the episode. Leave a comment. Let us know what you thought about our Attack on Titan discussion, and we will read it out loud on next week's episode whenever it's me, Charley, and Ben back to business. And if you want to see us talk about any of the topics that we talked about in the intro, that will be episode 140, the episode that came out right before this. So, yeah, go show some love there as well. But without further ado, this is us talking about Attack on Titan for an hour and a half. Hope you enjoy the episode. Show some love, all of that fun stuff. And we'll see you in the next one. Peace. Welcome back, everybody, to the Words from the Nerds podcast. Down one, we got another one back up in here. Ben's out today, so we brought in Brandon because we got a nice big episode. What an episode for Brandon to join on, too, because we got some big topics to discuss. I'll break down some of these topics so that you could jump to the time code if you want to pick and choose what you hear. We'll talk about some Attack on Titan because Charley over the week has finished and we are ready to talk about it. I don't have a lot of his thoughts other than some opinions on edits that I've just flooded his TikTok with.
That was the best. That was the best. I just have to say, like, without having any of my thoughts, just I got on TikTok and I saw 14 posts from him. I was like, let's fucking go. Holy shit.
Yeah, it was awesome. So we'll talk about some Attack on Titan. We'll touch on some box office because we got Brandon here who's in our box office draft. And if you want to watch that video, that was twice now. One a couple months ago, and then the other inaugural draft for the year a couple episodes back. So episode 133 for our summer draft, and then episode 124 for the fall or winter draft.
Also,
yeah, so we got Attack on
Titan.
Titan.
Real quick, I want to say I do. I mean, we've already praised whoever runs the fantasy box office stuff a lot already, but I don't know if it's just because they don't have that many mentions in their Twitter or whatever or whatnot, but like the fact that like I'm just scrolling through Twitter and I see Brandon replied to them about the fall 2 thing. I'm like, did anybody have it as their hit pick? And then they just answered it. They answered him and honestly, and like, nope, nobody, but a lot of
it
bomb
is nice
picks,
how sociable they are. Like I do
yes.
that, yeah.
Y'all were having like a conversation about Michael not being drafted as much, and
Which is
I believe Michael was a project. Yeah, and you were like, that was our first like 1.1 for the winter season. And they were just like, yeah, like here are the stats. It's like, it's so cool, dude. It's awesome. Really cool. And I made sure we had a episode kind of centered around them. I think it was when we were talking about Doomsday versus Spider-Man, and we were like fighting. Me and Ben were. And I tagged them in it because I was like, oh, cool. That way they can see that we're talking about them in their website. And I figured he would, but he reposted it, so that was pretty cool as well. Yeah. So yeah, we got some Attack on Titan, followed up by some box office talk, which will be really fun. Mandalorian and Grogu has come out. All three of us have watched it. We will all talk about that. And then we will end it off with The Boys. That way, if we're pushing the 2-hour mark, where Brandon has to be on dad duty, he could probably peace out of here because I wasn't the biggest fan of The Boys at all this season, which is understandable just because the show's kind of run its course, and we've talked about that. So, but we will try to keep this one nice, short, and sweet because we have 4 big topics. Starting us off is Attack on Titan, though. So I want to format this a little bit differently. I want you to take me through. We'll do again what we did last week. Take me through the end of season 3. So we know that, and spoilers for anyone that's going to watch Attack on Titan, in case Ben's watching this, obviously spoilers. We have Armin that eats Bertholdt, right? Yep. And inherits the colossal Titan and burdens the weight of Bertholdt's memories and everything in that. So we start there to the end of season 3, which is the cellar, everything with Grisha, and then Aaron's famous pointing across the sea saying, my enemies are over there. Real quick side note, I had an opportunity to recreate that picture at my honeymoon, but I hadn't got to the end of season 3 at that point. And then I just recently had another opportunity because I went to Texas and I was at the beach and I didn't recreate it again. And I'm so mad because I always forget to. So that's on.
I did it.
That's
I was like, I'm not gonna post it. I was like, this is too. It wasn't cool back then. I did it, and I was like, I can't post this.
Now, dude, they'll have like edits where it's like Aaron pointing across the sea, and it's like Red Swan, which is the I think season 2 theme, one of the themes for season 2, and it just like plays a super fast collage of a ton of Attack on Titan fans all recreating the same picture, and I'm like, that's just the coolest thing ever, dude. Everyone just all pointing for the same reason. So yes, we have the end of season 3. Walk me through that. Your thoughts on that. What you were thinking in the moment in regards to how does this look for the rest of the show? Not your thoughts on the rest of the show, knowing it now, but in that moment.
Well, I mean, funnily enough, what I first called to mind was my predictions from last episode. I personally, I don't think I was too far off the cuff. I don't remember exactly what I said, but I think I said that there was like going to be a bit of a switch of a flip or flip of a switch where like humans are the bad guys and Titans are the good guys. Almost like in a way, I guess, like if you look at the Marlians and the Eldians, depending on what you want, because like Marlians can't turn into Titans, they're technically just humans, yada yada. But I might be reaching at that point. But anyway, I don't even know if any of the it was. But getting to watch Grisha's backstory was at first like I was like, damn, we're really just like diving deep into this right now. Like, is this the time for this, or like, is this what I've been waiting for? I don't know. I was. There's so many questions I was asking, and then his sister dies, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what the dude? And in that way too, that is crazy, man. But then like as it continues on, and I'm seeing like. It leaves me with so many more questions too. I'm like, dude, why would Zeke do that? And then like turn in his parents, and then go on to seemingly work to take down Eldia, but then also, I guess this is a little bit of a foresight with season 4, but then seemingly like switch sides at first. But anyway, there's so many questions that I had afterwards with that, and I. More than anything, though, I thought, and this is also reaching into season 4 stuff, just, it's so sad, bro. Like, looking at the Eldian people in the internment zone and just, like, their utter belief of the fact that all of the devils on Paradis, and they idolize their oppressors in the Marlians. Like, that is just sadness came over me. But just... I keep getting ahead of myself, I guess. Just from season 3, to answer your question, I mean, obviously it like opened the floodgates a little bit, so to speak, just with Grisha having this whole life before, and it adds so much context to where his head was at and what he was doing, looking back on season 1 stuff. And I don't believe that's the moment we find out about what really happened with the Rice family. I think that's when
they go back
he
in
kisses
the memories. Oh,
well, but like when Aaron sees it though, that's when he kisses Historia's hand, right? Which is still season 3, but
What are you asking what he sees in that moment, or
Yeah.
when
Well, I
he
guess does it
sees what really
talk about the
happens?
Rice family? No, I don't. Maybe it doesn't. In the when we were finding out the seller stuff, maybe this is the bad part of having watched it all like so
Yeah,
quickly,
yeah,
because
no,
like
you're fine.
top of mind is all season 4 stuff. If I'm honest,
Yeah,
but
yeah, it's fine.
I mean with the Grisha stuff, like it made me. Oh, dude, especially season 4 stuff made me feel so bad
Mhm.
for Grisha. But looking at everything that happened with his parents and how they were so believed in the cause of for Eldia and Marley, and just looking at how Zeke betrays him, and then finding out all that info about the Titans from they just get launched off the wall and then sent on parody. Like that was crazy to me. And then the attack Titan guy comes out of nowhere. And then that moment when he's like
Dude.
and save Mikasa and Aaron. I was like, what the fuck? What are we talking about right now? What is
Dude.
happening?
That's like one of my favorite moments. I think that's like one of the biggest reactions I had is whenever he's just talking to him, the credits are rolling and they're playing this like gorgeous song, and he says, "Save Mikasa and Armin," and Grisha's like, "What?" And he's like,
Yes.
who is that?" And he's like, "I don't know. I'm just like that.
Those aren't
I
my
don't know who
memories.
that
Yeah.
is." Yeah. Gosh, it's so good because in that moment, that is Aaron sending those memories back to Aaron Kruger in that moment
Mm-hmm.
to say that to Grisha. And that is just one of the like coolest, because at that point, obviously, we don't get the on your feet dad stuff. So we don't know that the Attack Titan can see into the future and the past. It is just save Mikasa and Armin. And then people always make jokes. I think it's funny that people are like, I want to see Grisha's reaction when Aaron's like, "Dad, I made these friends. Me, like, this is Mikasa, this is Armin."
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Grisha's like, "Oh shit, this is it." But
I
yes,
would love to
that
see it too,
moment
actually.
is so awesome. Yes.
Yeah, and then like you combine that with like the moment of realization, which like this is a smaller one, but it also is kind of big depending on who. But like uh Dinah, finding out Dinah is the one that ate Aaron's mom because like the Titan she turns into, like it's that Titan is seared into my mind. Like as soon as I saw her, I was like, holy shit. Also, like she was wandering for a long time. Then, like you got to think, like she was wandering for years. Nobody took her down.
Yeah.
Which, like, I get it. Like the scouts at that point in time had gone out and they would get massacred almost anytime they went out. So, um, it makes sense. But it's just I don't know. Season 3 is wild.
It's
the
cool
last
'cause
like 10 episodes or whatever.
oh, it's absolutely insane. That's why I say the
Yeah.
Return to Shiganshina arc, and then followed with that like epilogue of all of that. Um, and it's cool that Dine is also the Titan that he first makes that royal that he
Yeah.
touches royalty and is able to use the power of the founding Titan in that moment. It's
Mhm.
the Titan that kills his mom, and it's also the Titan that allows him to awaken the founding Titan powers in that moment in season 2. Okay, so season 3, uh everything with the seller, like what was your reaction to that moment whenever you just find a photograph and they're like, what is this, like what is this? Because then I'm like, it's just a picture, but they're like, what is this, like witchcraft? Like how did this, what is a picture,
Yeah.
what and
Way
like a
too what did
blimp and
Hanji say? Like
everything.
she said this is way too detailed to be a drawing of some kind.
Yeah.
The picture itself, I don't know if I last week I said that I had the spoiler of Zeke is Aaron's brother.
Oh yeah,
And so
how did you react to like Zeke being the Beast Titan like that? Because I forget that moment. I forget when they. I feel like it's super low key when they reveal that Zeke is the Beast Titan or that that's Zeke's name. I know it's not like a huge deal.
Because we know it like way before, right? It's like early we know that Zeke is the
Peak
Beast Titan.
Peak
what we
calls him
see
Commander Zeke, but it's like a blink and you miss it moment.
in
And then I
season
think
3
in
she calls him
Grisha's,
that?
and then in and then in
Oh yeah, when
Grisha's
she's the
flashbacks,
cart titan. Okay.
yeah. And then in
I don't
flashbacks,
remember
we
the
see
moment when we find out Zeke's name other than the flashback. But like in that moment, if you don't know that Zeke is the Beast Titan, you wouldn't connect that, I feel like. Unless like I mean they
because it
just
was
look similar. If I'm honest, the a prediction that I had cuz with Ervin's flashbacks and we kept seeing his dad, I was like Aaron's dad is the Beast Titan, because Aaron's dad looked a lot like Zeke. I was like, what the fuck? Is Aaron's dad, is he alive? He's the Beast Titan? But that was wrong.
I would love a what if Erwin got the Colossal Titan instead of Iron Man. How they're oh my god, like he's too good of a character to kill off in season 3 with everything that happened. But yes, because last week you were like, oh yeah, I find out that Zeke and Aaron are brothers, and I was like, do you know who Zeke is yet? And you were like, no, they haven't showed Zeke. And so I was like, oh shit, okay, then he doesn't know that, because you've seen everything with the Beast Titan all of season 3. And so I was like, oh shit, he doesn't know that Zeke is the Beast Titan at that point. And then doesn't Zeke say something to Aaron in that moment? Because he comes in and he picks up, I think he picks up Peak, or he picks somebody
up
and
Rhina.
He dips off. Okay,
well, he leaves that thing to go pick up Rhina. He talks to Aaron, then he goes to pick up Rhina. He initially
says something about
he says, I'll come back and save you. Yeah, you don't look anything like him. You don't look as much like him as I thought you would, or something like that. And then he said, I'll come back and save you from this one day, Aaron. And I think I said last episode that like that seemed very sincere, and that like built that kind of was part of what led to my prediction at the time, whatever it was. And
the Titans are good, and yeah,
I might have made the assumption that once I saw the photograph, I immediately knew that like, okay, that's Grisha's other kid. I was like, because there's no other, I don't see any other reason that wouldn't be. And I was like, so then since I saw that spoiler, I was like, okay, that must be Zeke. But I don't think I knew that Zeke was the Beast Titan yet. I might have just put that together myself. I don't know.
It's one of those, that's why I told you it's not that big of a spoiler, because it's like,
yeah,
it's never, and me going into it, recording my reactions and knowing, and I just got spoiled off a random TikTok that I saw a year before I started watching the show. It was somebody saying that it was like a time travel TikTok, like a skit. And he was like, oh, what are you doing? Like, what day, what's the time period? He's like, oh, it's COVID. And he's like, oh, by the way, Zeke and Aaron are brothers. And he leaves. And the dude's like, what the fuck? Like freaking out. And so I was like, oh, great. This is an Attack on Titan spoiler. And that, for some reason, that's the one that stuck in my head for forever. And so when I started watching the show, I was like, I'm gonna have to fake my reaction to this because I already know. And then the moment never came up, and I was just like, okay.
Yeah, there's never like, they don't treat it. Yeah.
Yeah.
The show doesn't even treat it like it's a big thing.
That's a crazy TikTok. That's what a wild
yeah. well, and that's what Charlie said last week of like the search on one of my videos, like the search for the topic was, what was it, like Zeke and Aaron?
It was Aaron. Aaron finds out Zeke is his brother. Like it was people trying to, like if you click on it, you were looking for a reaction to somebody watching Aaron, or maybe looking for Aaron's reaction. I don't know, something like that.
It like, to me, this is like one of the biggest, not like, because it's a huge plot twist. I feel like, given the context of the show, but then in the moment, it's like the biggest plot twist that's not treated like a plot twist in history. It's so weird. Okay, so start of season 4, because you get to everything with the sea, you get everything with the cellar, and Aaron visibly in that last episode is not the same. And then you get a generational lock-in. But season 4 starts off with Falco and Gabi and all like something completely different. And I know that halfway
fucking Gabi.
Yo,
okay.
I'll say Gabi is exactly like Aaron, bro. She is Aaron.
No, they went way too hard on trying to make her Aaron, but it's not even the same thing, bro. It's not even the same thing. Like, oh my gosh, it's just, I guess, like to a certain degree, like she saw. This is from the Sasha standpoint for me. Like she saw Sasha gun people down that she talked to sometimes, the two officers, her oppressors, mind you, her two oppressors, and watch Sasha gun those people down. And so she gets up on the fucking Zeppelin and shoots Sasha in the fucking chest. Like, and then after that, bro, she just, I'm going to kill all these island devils. I'm like, dude, are you like, I mean, when she finally came.
That's what Aaron does.
But I know, I get it.
He's just your main character. That's why you're defending him.
The Titan, no. The Titans are much like, at least the Titans are just mindless drones that just eat for eating sake. But like these people are doing like the Eldians from Parody are obviously our characters, and sure, maybe there's an element of me just defending them wholeheartedly, but they're doing these things for a reason. Like you guys were literally just on stage announcing you were declaring war on us, and you're just mad that we decided to not sit back and take that like good little bitches. Like, come on, bro. Like, are you kidding me? That is ridiculous.
Dude, Marley has a right to defend itself.
Oh.
Okay, so all right, so we have the Marley versus Eldia beginning arc of season 4. We start off with all of that, and then we get possibly the best moment in the entire show, where it says, "I officially declare war on Eldia." And Aaron fucking pops out, and it's go time. It's showtime.
Man.
In that arc, though, because I know there's a lot of stuff that happens with Rhina before the moment of Aaron saying, me and you are alike, Rhina. We're exactly the same. There's a lot of really cool stuff in there, but we start off with Marley, and we see Zeke and Rhina and all of them like they're dropping their forces on another nation to impose strength to take over. What was your reaction to those first 10 episodes? Because I told you the Return to Shiganshina arc is amazing, but I think that arc is possibly tied with it for the best arcs in the show, because of how we're thrown into Marley, we get introduced to Aaron playing with this it wasn't Falco that he was, it was manipulating. Okay. Yeah, so it's Falco, he's manipulating Falco, gets into the apartment building, is murdering a lot of people. He is completely different. So what was all of that like for you in that moment?
Well, see, I said at the beginning of season 3, I didn't care for the overthrow plot or whatever it was to overthrow the regime in Parody. And with this time around, starting with the war, with just like at first I was like, oh, like we're just jumping into Marley versus Parody. I was like, oh my gosh, like I need to lock in. But then like I came to realize slowly, like, oh, this is just them versus another country. Still cool. There was still like watching Rhina and a bunch of Titans fall out of the sky. I thought that was really cool. And all that stuff was enjoyable. And watching Zeke toss boulders at their incoming fleet, like cool stuff. Yeah. But honestly, I like that, watching them like talk about fighting other countries and stuff, I just wasn't very interested in it. But then when we got down to it with, I think it was the very next conversation where they were sitting with all the Marley war chiefs or something like that, all the government of Marley or something, and where they're talking about how they need to go, if they really want to do anything meaningful, they need to get the founding Titan over from Parody. And then that's when it's just lock in time. And truthfully, I was still like in and out of like caring about anything that was happening apart from like Rhina, even though at this point I still didn't like Rhina. But so when I think there was a shot of him like about to blow his brains out with a shotgun or something like that. And I was like, yeah, Rhina, go ahead, bro, do it. I don't care.
Oh, come on, dude. Rhina's the GOAT. Dude, Rhina's one of my favorite characters. Listen, his development is so good. He's awesome. He's a top 5 character.
Sure.
But at this point, statement.
No, at this point, I still just didn't like him, bro. Yeah. Like at that point, fair. He hadn't done, like, he had only done bad things. Like things against like who I deem to be like the better characters.
Well, that's something I regret not asking last week, because one of the main questions I had, I would bug my coworker. He was kind of my eyes and ears spectating like I'm doing to you. I asked my coworker, I was like, I just cannot wrap my head around why Rhina, Bertolt, and Annie did the things that they did. Why are they slaughtering scouts and their best friends? Why did they attack Parody? Why did they do all of these things? Like I can't wrap my head around what their mission is. And that was possibly my biggest question as I was watching season 1 and 2, and then as you get towards a return to Sagashina arc, I'm like, cool. I know that they're Titans. I'm interested in how they are Titans and how they got into the walls, but my like number one question was, why are they doing the things that they do? What could they possibly use to justify what they're doing right now? And I really wish I would have asked this last week, but I was wondering if you were having similar thoughts, especially because they played undercover the entire time, to the point where Rhina literally has like multiple personality disorder or whatever, because he plays the role of a scout and then plays the role of a warrior sent, to parody from Marley.
Yeah.
So I wondered what you were thinking in those moments.
At the time, I think I just assumed, especially given the end of season 2, I assumed it was just they wanted Aaron because I don't think at that point we knew. Actually, no, I think that is a scene that you learn in season 2 where eating another Titan gives you their power. I think we learned that in season 2. So I guess I assumed, but I didn't know anything about the royal blood or anything like that. I think I just assumed that they wanted Aaron but I don't think I thought they were going to eat him. I think I thought that they were all going to like combine their powers to do something. I don't know what I thought that thing was going to be, but that's what my assumption was. But I guess that doesn't answer the why they need to kill all these scouts. I guess just like if they get in their way kind of thing. But that still would beg the question, what is so important that they need to do with all of their powers combined, or something that would warrant you killing all of your friends and everything like that?
Yeah.
And
okay,
I
so
think
back to season 4, because I got us off topic, but yeah, continue.
No, I mean, that's all. I was gonna say, transitioning into season 4, I think that is answered a bit better. I mean, not a bit better. No, I completely understand why they're doing it now. It's just I still had my reservations about those characters. Probably that's
fine, because like one of my biggest things was why, like, I could never forgive Rhina and Bertolt for doing the things that they did. They ruined a lot of people's lives when they broke down the walls in season 1. That is like a huge thing, but I do think there are a lot of good moments, and I think there's even a moment in season 4 where Ryan is like, I think he's talking to Annie, actually, which, oh man, what a freaking moment. I think he's talking to Annie, if this is true. And he says, yeah, I should have just let us die when Marcel got eaten by Ymir. He's like, I should have just turned around and went back home. I should not have pushed forward to finish our mission, and I regret that so much, because it brought us to where we're at now. And I think Rhina is easily a top 5 character. Real quick, because I'm gonna forget to mention this, that moment where Jean fucking saves him and says, we're scouts, this is what we do, and Rhina's face drops. I was literally in the car, like driving home, watching that. I was crying, dude. I was like, this is like one of the best moments I've ever. It's so freaking good. But I understand why you would hate Rhina in the first arc.
Sure. But by the end of it, I will say, I don't know if I'd say top. I could understand. Never mind. I could understand top 5 character. I don't know if he's in my top 5.
Okay, fair.
But maybe he might be like right on the cusp, though. Truthfully.
Interesting. Okay.
But as for like the rest of it, that one, like the declaration of war with the Tiber family, and also the Warhammer Titan. Yeah. That stuff was super. I mean, oh my gosh, come on, dude. And like they're finally using like guns with the ODM gear and everything, just like similar to Kenny's guys. And that stuff was all super cool. I mean, I mentioned it already, but just watching like Sasha be such a marksman, like, I mean, we know she had training with a bow and everything like that, but just watching her just like light people up is crazy. And then getting to see Levi in action too. I mean, I love Levi in action.
Dude, I know you love that moment where, I forget his name. He's the Jaw Titan, and he's like, what? Don't they like what? It's nothing but humans. What do they not know that I'm a Titan or something? It's like, no, those are the scouts, bro. Those are the freaking scouts. That is such a good moment. He's like, don't you know I'm a Titan?
He says it this is it. Am I really about to die to a bunch of a bunch of island devils or something like that? I don't know. But
dude,
I mean,
one of my favorite moments in this arc too, just because Mikasa's my favorite character in this show. When Eren is sitting there and they have the kill shot on him, and the Warhammer Titan says, "Any last words?" and he's like, "Mikasa, it's now or never." And then she just comes in and makes her grand entry, because we haven't seen them in forever, and obviously there's a time jump because Eren has like super long hair. But yes, that moment right there where he says, "Mikasa, it's now or never," and she just pops in, bro. I don't know if you've watched the reactions. I will send you that one. That is probably the loudest that I screamed watching this entire show. Like, that moment right there means something to me.
I don't think I watched your reaction of that one. I don't think I did.
I'll pull it up and send it to you. But because that moment right there, we see that's kind of the start of how we see the other scouts viewing Eren, and how they view Eren and who Eren has become.
Yeah, speaking of like actual moments, in that arc, just the moment of when we see Eren for the first time, like when we see him talking to Falco, and like they don't show that it's Eren, or I mean, I guess they kind of do, but you could just kind of tell from his voice, and that's it. Maybe I wonder if actually in the sub version that was harder to tell. Actually, Brandon, did you watch the sub or the dub version?
So I watched the dubbed.
You watched the dub, yeah. Okay,
but I mean, I read it first. I read it weekly or monthly when it was coming out, and then watched it. Yeah. I've been around for.
Read it.
Yeah, I've been around for a while on this. You guys talking, I'm like, oh yeah, that did happen. It's been probably 4 or 5 years for some of this for me.
Dang, bro.
I know Brandon will have a because obviously we talked about it a lot, and my camera's messing up, but whatever, it'll fix itself soon. Obviously Brandon's the one that put me onto One Piece and helped me start, again, trapped me like your friends trapped you, Charlie, for Attack on Titan, and I was able to start the wonderful journey of One Piece. And so when it was time to watch another anime, I picked Attack on Titan because I had tried to watch it a while back. Now he has a lot of thoughts. I won't spoil what those thoughts are when it comes to the end and the show as a whole and the manga. So I think there will be a lot of good things there. But I knew that if we're going by the show episode by episode, or like arc by arc, a lot of it would be, because I've had to watch and refresh. Like, I watched the Memories of the Future episode, the On Your Feet Dad. I watched that yesterday just to refresh myself. Honestly, I think that is one of the greatest episodes of TV of all time. Like, I personally that I've watched. Oh, so good. But I've had to refresh myself just because the ending is fresh to me, but the rest isn't. So, but yes, sure. Eren's introduction.
Yeah, just him sitting, that revelation of him sitting on the bench with Falco, and like that was a moment for me. I was like, because I think at that point it had been like 3 episodes maybe, and we just hadn't seen him or anybody from Parody, and I was turned up at that point. I was like, dude, what happened to his leg? And I was like, oh, dude, he's got to just be able at this point to like hold off his healing or something like that. And of course that was the case. But as for like the rest of the arc, Sasha's death really, really surprisingly hit me, because I didn't care about Sasha that much at any other point. Like, I thought like she's funny comedic relief, but I didn't. Like, I got on the verge of tearing up. I guess when I say that it really hit me, I got on the verge of tearing up. I was like, damn, like that fucking sucks. It was more like Connie's reaction and like Eren's reaction, everybody's reaction to it. It was probably
Eren laughing.
Eren laughed, but then we got to see, and I don't think Connie got to see this. We got to see Eren's like actual like bit of remorse and sadness.
Yeah. Well, at that moment, he knows, and I think that laugh obviously is him just being like, okay, nothing, like everything is gonna go exactly how I see it. Like this is
the start of it. This is like the true start of it.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever. I don't mean to cut you off, but we have.
I was gonna jump way ahead, so that's fine.
Okay,
you keep us on track. I was gonna jump way
thought,
ahead.
No, you're fine. I thought you were gonna touch on that conversation between Levi and Aaron, and I think I don't know if I sent you that video, but where he says,
I see that look. I've seen that look on.
Yeah, gosh, what a line! And he's like, I honestly never thought I'd see it. Yeah, so good. But okay, so then the middle arc, from what I remember, is we get the Zeke spinal fluid stuff. We get which is, I think, is a little bit after the on your feet, Dad. The middle of season 4 is it's before
on your feet, Dad is
right on your feet is when they.
Right,
is it when they make contact?
Yeah, it's when they make contact.
Okay, cool. So we have the Zeke spinal fluid. We have a lot of the, like, it actually feels like a war. Mikasa and Armin go up to the governor or mayor's mansion, and that's where we finally see the Jaegerists. Proud Jaegerists, by the way. I will.
Hell no!
I'm kidding. We have the Jaegerists. We have Flock, which
actually, hold on, pause. I was watching your reactions, bro. Don't say, "Oh, I'm kidding." You're a fucking Flock glazer. You're a Flock glazer, bro. You're a Flock glazer.
Is one of my favorite characters. Flock's one of my favorite characters.
Fuck Flock. Fuck that redheaded bitch. Fuck that motherfucker.
I love Flock. He's awesome. Bro. Flock's my goat. But I am, after finishing the show, I am not a proud Jaegerist. But we have the Jaegerist arc. We have Flock. Everything there with one of my personal favorite moments of the show again, which is why I think season 4 is better than season. It's so good. I've always hated you, Mikasa. All of that. Okay, so we have everything there with Gabi finding out that Sasha is related to the family that's been taking them in and taking care of them. What was all that like for you? And we can go as fast as you want, because I know we got to get to the on your feet, Dad. And I've been dying since literally last week to pick your brain on that.
Looking back on it, I feel like I like it less than I did while I was watching it. I like the spinal tap and the wine thing. That is a crazy twist, yes, but like, do they not have anything else to drink out there, bro? like, I mean, not everybody drank it. I know Levi didn't drink it. Commandant Shadis didn't drink it. Honestly, that might be it. Like, as far as like major characters in any regiment, like that might be it of the people that like didn't drink it. That being said, it's still a very sad moment when you're watching it all happen, and I think it's treated as such. Oh man, that moment when like they're pleading with Zeke to not, and it also hits because of Flock as well. That moment where they're pleading with him not to scream, and dude, Flock's older brother, I completely forgot about that. Flock's older brother, not Flock, Falco's older brother is just holding on to him. He's like, I can't remember exactly what he says, but he just dies. He dies during his brother's transformation. Golly, that shit hits. It's giving me chills right now. That's good stuff. But anyway, the wine stuff, I'm like, like, I mean, that's it's interesting for sure, but also I don't know if that's like that great. I get it for Zeke's perspective. It was sort of like a backup plan if they needed it to ward off any other Marley people. But it's also just so cold-blooded, and I like Aaron played a part in that too. And also, because I think at this point we had seen at least the first half of their flashback conversation with the euthanization plan.
Yes.
Why didn't they just touch right then and do it? Am I lost?
I forget. I don't know. Honestly, you would know more than me, but I know that Zeke there's even a moment where Zeke's like, not yet. Like, we can't do this now.
He says, I'd rather not touch you right now to do it. But I'm like, unless I'm forgetting something, why? Like, why?
I feel like because Because if he were to touch him in that moment, it would set off everything that we see happen when they touch towards the end, which is Zeke wants to go back through time and unbrainwash what he thinks is that he's doing when he goes back, unbrainwash all of Grisha and of what Grisha did to Aaron. So I feel like that might be a reason. Now, I'm sure there's a better explanation, but I mean, obviously, he would want to delay touching Aaron at that moment and setting that off, because I feel like in his head, the perfect route is swaying Aaron on the euthanization plan, touching Aaron, and then taking him through everything with Grisha to make sure that he's completely on his side, and then starting whatever Zeke wants to start in that moment. Obviously, later down the line, that doesn't go his way, but that's the best I got for you right now. I know it's not much.
And to be honest, I think it is probably explained. I'm just forgetting. I'm just spacing what the explanation for it is. Because like same as you, I'm the end of the show is what's fresh in my mind. And even then, I just yesterday went back and rewatched Armin and Aaron's conversation that Aaron erased from his mind. Yeah. Because I was a little hazy on that, because honestly, and we'll get to that, but there's some weird stuff for me in that too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, trust me, buddy.
But as far as this arc, I really loved the stuff with Gabi and that family. Just because like that's part of her arc for learning that the island devils aren't really island devils as they've been taught. I do think that like they try so hard to, or at least Gabi, I guess, tries really hard to make it. It's like she's convincing herself still that these are island devils, even though at every turn, almost like she's not given a reason. She's not shown anything to back up that ideology. Like, sure, there are people that try to hurt her, but it's in response to things that she's already done, i.e. the daughter / sister of Sasha that Sasha saved at one point. And it's like that kind of stuff. I don't know how you can look at that and think that they're island devils because of, and that's after she heard her sad story too about watching her mom be eaten by titans. And like, I don't know. But I did like the Gabi arc for that reason. And this is also where I became more of an enjoyer of Falco, which is probably why him turning into a Titan hit so much for me as well. And that Aaron and Mikasa and Armin conversation you were talking about, that broke me, bro. That broke me. And I go and watch Aiden's reaction, bro. Dude, the people in the comments too, they're with me. They're like, "Why is bro laughing right now?" Like you're like smiling. You're like, "Oh my god!" And like, bro, how are you laughing? Why are you smiling right now, bro? This shit is hitting me. Oh my god, he's beating the shit out of his best friend.
This is peak, bro. I'm laughing because it's peak, bro. I love it.
That was just like, oh my gosh, man. And I do love. I should go back and rewatch this part. I believe this is a conversation that him and Zeke have later on in the third arc, where Zeke is essentially telling Aaron that like, no, there's not. She doesn't have some like mental predisposition to protect you or anything. Like that's absurd. Like what are you talking about? Because if that were the case and they actually made that a thing, that would suck. I don't think that would be a good arc for Mika's sake. And then watching Armin just freak out on him, and then just the visceral, just him beating the shit out of Armin, man. Oh my gosh.
Dude, that's like such a cold line. He's like, "Armin, why do you think it is we've never fought?" He's like, "'Cause I would kick your ass every single time." I was like, oh my god, this man's a villain. Because they follow that up with him meeting with Flock and putting on the
yes,
jacket.
Yeah. The also Levi versus Zeke round 2, I think, maybe round 3. I think is technically round 3, but round 2 was a fake thing in Marley. But anyway, round 2, and just like you thought I'd have a problem killing my friends. Like, I mean, that did suck that he had to do that, but just fucking destroying him again, just cutting him down. And of course, fucking Zeke, like, what did he say? Kruger, are you still watching? And he blows up the fucking, what are those things called? I forget. Thunder or something?
Thunder Spears.
Thunder Spear, thank you. Oh man, I felt I honestly thought Levi was dead for a second. But then I saw I think it was that night that I watched it. I saw a split second of an edit of Levi covered in bandages, and I was like, "Oh, I've never
Yeah.
seen Levi like that before." So he must be alive.
Surely he survives. Yeah.
Uh, dude, and then also I think it's this arc. Well, no, I already liked Hanji before, but this arc really, like, Hanji comes to the forefront because like she's doing a lot of things as commander now, and she's having to take these big steps, and she's dealing with something that's never had to been dealt with before, like with the Jaegerists coming up, and Commander Pixis is telling everybody to just let them be. And let them do their thing. Like she's just, and oh, dude, that moment when she has to start shooting them down, killing them, and like she's crying as she's doing it. Baller stuff, great stuff, man. I'm trying to think if there's anything else in this arc that stuck out to me.
I think that might be it for the arc. I know those were the big hitter moments because I had a night where I binge watched like 15 episodes because I was like, I knew that Memories of the Future was the like on your feet dad moment, and on your feet dad had been told to me multiple times where somebody's just like my buddy I used to work with, he was like, just remember these words, on your feet dad. And I was like, what? Like, what? He just kept like, and I would see edits that I would have to scroll away from real quick. So I had eventually known that that was the episode that everything happened. So I was like, all right, I'm on a mission. I'm going to binge watch until I get to this episode because I need to find out what happens and what goes on with this moment.
I guess this is the last thing, and this technically might be part of like the rumbling arc. But like the stuff with Connie, hated it. Just because
with his mom
like,
taking
Falco with his mom. Taking
okay.
Falco to his mom. Hated it. Like it felt like character assassination of Connie at that point, essentially. Which he didn't follow through with it, but it just like I had never seen this side of Connie, or just like it was like a whole different ball game. And I like the thing that snaps him out of it, and like, dude, Armin's the GOAT, bro. Like he's just about to fall into his mom's mouth, and then he fucking saves him from it. Like that was good stuff.
Yeah.
But
Armin is him, bro. Yes, and it's funny like listening to your comments of like, bro, Connie doesn't strike me as somebody that's gonna stay to the end. He ends up staying to the end. Okay, yeah. So
speaking of Connie,
war.
No way you let that be your last reaction. It was a Connie thing. I was looking through your page because I was like, how far did he get before he stopped watching? And then your last video was a reaction to something Connie did, and I was like, really? You let your last thing be a Connie thing?
Oh yeah, sorry. I was yeah. Fuck, I don't even know.
He's getting back on dear Lord.
Yeah. Back on it. So yes, big war breaks out, everything. Gabi snipes Aaron, decapitates him, and Aaron's head. That was also awesome moment. That was also an awesome moment. But yeah, everything with the war, one of my favorite moments is Aaron telling Peak, point to your enemy, and Peak turns around and points to him, and then at that moment the Jaw Titan comes and they have an all-out war. But the moment is Aaron's head falling in Zeke's hands, and they go to the paths. I believe that episode, everything happens in that episode, and it ends with Zeke basically being like, come on, Aaron, take a walk with me. And then the next episode we get that revelation. So take me through all of that.
That episode, I was making sure that I was as locked in as possible because I didn't want any part of it to be confusing to me. And then when we get to the eventual moment I want to jump to the Rice family stuff, but I'm trying to think if there's another moment that stuck out to me a lot. I don't think so. I mean, obviously there's a couple of moments, like I think one where he's down at the Grisha's down in the cellar and they're obviously down there with him, and then Grisha can like hear or see Zeke for a second. Yeah, see him, because he says, "Listen to yourself, Grisha. Of course, Zeke's not going to be old and bearded right now." But I don't think there's anything really to hang on to.
In that moment too, because it happens in the same episode. In that moment too, I was watching a lot of videos leading up to it, just to refresh me, but also to see other people's thoughts on like the time paradox and whatnot, the time loop. But in that moment, I think it's really cool. Zeke is leading Aaron through everything, and Aaron obviously doesn't want to be there. Aaron tells Zeke, "Okay, cool, you've undone his brainwashing. Can we go now?" And Zeke's like, "We have all the time in the world. Like, don't be in a rush." And then in that moment, Zeke is really taken off guard, because I think what other people's interpretation is in that moment, Zeke sent his memories of seeing Grisha and then seeing Zeke in front of Grisha. He sent that memory to Grisha in that moment. So Grisha can't, it's not like Grisha looked up and saw Zeke. Grisha sees Aaron's point of view of him looking at Zeke. And that's why he gets it in that moment. But then Aaron looks at Zeke and he's like, because the whole time Zeke had been saying, "All right, next, let's go. Like, let's get on our way." And at that moment, Aaron tells Zeke, "All right, let's go, Zeke. Let's go. Next," and opens the door. It's like, oh shit, okay, he's controlling this now. I think that's a really cool moment that eventually leads up to the Rice family in the Crystal Cave.
Yeah. I guess maybe the cool moment for me was the revelation of like, he found the Rice family's like cave thing on like day 2 or something like that. And Zeke was like astonished, like he found it that fast? Like but the wall doesn't break for another couple years. And just like the realization, like, no, Grisha just wanted to have a family. And like, that's got to hit for Zeke, especially after he feels like his dad just tried to indoctrinate him into his ideology. But then also you contrast that with right after the Rice family stuff, but that's getting ahead of myself. But down to the Rice family stuff, I mean, yeah, it's an all right line. Yeah, get up, Dad. You know, it ain't bad. But like having Zeke sit there and realize like, how, like, this is an event that's already happened. Like, you can't, how can it be changed? How can it be different? And it wasn't changed. We just see now the actual full revelation of it all from like Grisha's point of view, because Grisha didn't want to do what he did, but Aaron psyched him up for it. And then, dude, just to have him go up top and just start screaming, "Aaron, are you happy now? Did you get everything you wanted?" And then he starts telling Zeke, like, from this point on, Aaron's gonna get everything that he desires from this or something. I'm like, holy shit, bro.
Underrated moment is Zeke hugging Grisha and just being like,
yeah,
father. Like, the first time he references Grisha as his
father and not Kruger, because he was calling Kruger his dad.
And he's like, "Oh, father." It's like, oh, it's such a brutal moment. But yes, that moment of him dropping the knife and Zeke being like, "This is the past. I don't understand." And yeah, Aaron pushing him to it. It's such a good moment. It's a great plot twist. Didn't know if it really worked for me a whole lot.
Sure.
It led to a lot of like, I didn't truly know how I felt about it, especially as I talk about it now and as I look for videos. I'm like, when did all of this start? Like, did Zeke unintentionally cause all of this by taking Aaron into the paths and going through these memories? Because they spent a lot of time in those memories. It wasn't a couple of days. And this is a revelation I've learned recently. Like, in the manga, apparently it says that they've spent years going through all of these memories. So did Zeke unintentionally cause all of this, taking Aaron there and allowing Aaron to manipulate pieces of the story, such as sending memories back to Kruger and sending Dinah to his mom to allow Bertolt to live so that all of the events could play out like they did. When is the moment that Aaron went and messed with all of that? Like, it's just such a huge time paradox and such a huge loop that I'm like, I don't know how well this works. And especially looking back at the show and looking back at the events that happen, like, I love that Ymir, but then again, you throw in Ymir and you throw in King Fritz and all of that. But I do love that Ymir waited for Mikasa because Ymir herself was stuck in a Stockholm syndrome with King Fritz and could not break that hold that King Fritz had on her. So she waited for somebody that could break that, and that was Mikasa, because she broke that on Aaron, the hold that Aaron had on her, finally killing Aaron. I think that is a gorgeous moment. I almost spoiled that last week for you when I said, since I finished the show, events that have happened have led me to change my mind on characters. Events that happened at the end of the show made it apparent that Mikasa is my favorite character of this show. And that's part of the reason why. But you start to think about all that. You start to think of the time loop, how Aaron spotted in seasons 1 and 2, just in the background of the show. And you start to think about how all of that fits together when you throw in Ymir and King Fritz and all of that. And it starts to throw you for a loop a little bit. It starts to leave a lot more questions than it does answers, even sometimes when I think about it. And this is when I wanted to pick Brandon's brain on too, because we've had a lot of conversations as well.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, so first, the season 1, I know a lot of people think that they see him. I don't think that's him. I've told Aiden this. The creator. It was funny last week when you were talking about you felt like they had planned it all out. He has been on the record to say he didn't really plan out how the last part of it was going to go. He never even thought it would get this big.
Wait, the manga or the show?
The manga. The show
Okay.
kind of fixes things, but obviously, like so when season 1 aired, would have been like 2013.
Yeah. 13,
yeah. And so like we were still, it ended in 2021 in the manga.
Okay.
So there was still time where he was still trying to figure it out, which you could kind of tell once the time skip started. But the time stuff really bothers me, and this is obviously a discussion for the Rumbling arc and like what happens with Aaron's master plan. But the minute that happened, I was like, oh, this is such a cool thing. But then like the whole time you're like, okay, perfect. Aaron's got this big thing. Maybe it's like, whatever the Rumbling is, maybe it'll be a different thing, or like 80%. He's making that up. And I think I'm in denial the whole time because like I like Aaron. I tend to, he's the main character stuff.
Sure.
I want to, Paul, Anakin, I want to believe that, I see the good. I understand where they're coming from. But then like, as you get further, you're like, I just can't, like, this was your choice. This is what you decided with your time travel ability is this, which we'll talk about at the end, but the manga actually ends differently than the anime.
Oh, okay.
Slightly, but we'll because I've never been able to shake that ending, and I told Aiden that the other day.
Well, yeah, and yeah, even when it gets to the Rumbling things, I mean, there's moments he tells Armin and one of the biggest things that bothered me with the finale is like he tells Armin, he's like, Armin, I finally realized why I did what I did, as in starting the Rumbling, and he's like, why? Like, why did you do it? He's like, because I'm an idiot. Because I like this, and I don't know that really, I'm still trying to figure out what exactly that Armin and Aaron conversation holds, because I do think, and I was telling Brandon this, I do think that is the one time since before he kissed Historia's hand, because when he kissed Historia's hand, everything went downhill. That is no longer the Aaron that we know and have known for the first couple seasons. After he kisses Historia's hand, that moment there where he's crying to Armin about, I don't want Mikasa to move on, which as much as we say things about Aaron and about the choices and whatnot, that moment did hit, because I love Mikasa. She's awesome. Sure. But him crying to Armin and saying, I don't want her to move on. Like, I just want to be with y'all two forever. I think that is the one moment that we see Aaron, the Aaron that we've known since before everything happened. And I think that is very endearing, even just for the sake of Armin and Mikasa. But why? And I've come to terms with why the choice to start the Rumbling was the only route. Aaron's been through all of this, and he told Mikasa and he told Armin this. He's like, no matter what I do, no matter I've tried so many times to not let the rumbling be the option and not kill 80% of the population, but this is the only way that things go. It's like the Doctor Strange and what
Sure.
out of all these scenarios, I see one. This is the only good like outcome is starting the rumbling, allowing y'all to be the heroes, and at least having some peace there for some time. So I've come to terms with that is the choice, that is the option. But why in that moment does he not tell Armin? Like, why is that not more apparent? Armin, this is the only way that we were going to achieve some kind of peace. And one of our biggest things while we were in the walls was freedom and peace and like just everyone living happily together. This was the closest that we could get. This is why I did what I had to do. I was cursed with this knowledge. My father cursed me with this. I'm stuck with knowing how all of this plays out, and this is what I had to do. Why not play it up more as a sacrifice way, where it's like, yeah, Aaron had to kill 80% of the population, but like, what else was there to do for this universe, for this world? When it comes to everyone existing in peace, Marley, Eldia, all of the other countries, why is that not more apparent in that finale? Why not give Aaron some kind of quote unquote redemption, but like at least some
reason,
something to back up that, some reason or something to back up those choices, instead of just having him tell Aaron or Armin, I did it because I'm dumb. Like, I don't know. It plays.
Yeah,
really
and he said he wanted to, because like I went back and rewatched it yesterday. He says, I don't know why I did it, but I just know that I wanted to see this. And the camera pans and shows the ocean of blood, and he picks up the hair and guts and teeth in his hand. He just wanted to see this sight is what he says. And then also he does say, I'm just a garden variety idiot who got his hands on power.
Yeah.
And like, sure, there's something to be said there in terms of like a message that the show might be going for. But I do think I'm in agreement with you as in terms of like, I don't know that I buy that as like a great reason for me to agree with Aaron or just try to find some common ground with Aaron, because like, I mean, I don't think I'm the smartest person in the world, but I don't think I would do that if I had that power. Like, I don't know. And also I do think they did a decent job at trying to tell us why all these other options, at least for peace on Paradis, won't work, because like the world is too ignorant and arrogant to understand them or to even want to hear them out. And even I forget her name, but the one who's related to Mikasa, who is in the same clan as her.
Oh, I forget. Is it the one that was like talking about her scarf and how much she looked up to her?
I don't know if they talked about her scarf, but they have like the same marking or whatever. I don't. She's from another country, another governing country that like started to help Eldia or Paradis specifically.
I forget.
And help them understand stuff about the world, and they were going to make a peace treaty or something like that. But with that character, like something that she said, I believe she backed up the point also that like nobody is going to want to work with Eldia. And also it's just the fact that the options that they had, their options were cut down to the options that they had in Arc 2 and Arc 3 because of what Aaron did in Arc 1. He knew attacking Marley like this, killing a bunch of civilians and other governing countries, politicians and everything like that. He knew that would make the world hate Paradis. And you could argue that maybe he did that as like a reason to back up him wanting to do the rumbling. So like people just now everybody hates them, so everybody should die. And but it's just like you had a lot better standpoint to go off of, and that at that point before you had done anything to Marley, than after you do everything to Marley. I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is like, I get it. Whatever he saw when kissing Historia's hand made him go down this path, but I just wish that the show maybe made it a bit more clear to us as to what he saw. Like, I'd love to see the other ways in which this wouldn't have worked out. But as you mentioned with like the Doctor Strange thing, we never see any of that, and yet that works for me. So
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe this one's just a bit bigger. Yeah, as whatever you're about to say, Brandon.
I was just gonna say, I think it's because it's an outcome you like or can agree with in the Doctor Strange
Yeah.
situation. I think my problem with this is the time travel. Once you get into all that, you're like, this is seriously the best outcome. Like, I don't know how you write it, how you refix it at this point, but once you introduce time travel and you're like, this is the only outcome, I'm just like, how do the time travel powers work? How far back can we go? What actually all is
gosh, yeah.
is he setting in place? Because like, did he actually set everything else up for this? And then I don't know. I think that the time thing gets really weird within the like, this is the only path forward. I just think that's odd and too genocidal. And I understand that's like, Aaron is an aggressive kid who grew up in a oppressed land, and I understand that mentally he's not all there. But that's where like I have my problems with the ending, is like, this was your option, and especially with the time travel, it's like, what are we doing?
And that's why I can buy like that aspect of Aaron, the one who is so blinded by his hatred. I can buy that aspect of him saying, I don't know why I did this specifically. I just know that I wanted to see this. I wanted to see all this blood and destruction and death at my hand, which he doesn't say that. I'm adding that. But I can buy that that's the case for him, because looking at, as we said, or as I mentioned earlier, his sheer hatred for the Titans because of what happens to his mother, that then turns into hatred for Marley, because of Marley's the one who sends the Titans, technically, and Marley just hates all of the people on Paradis. I guess I struggle to understand, like, sure, okay, Marley, that's all your enemies are in Marley. But then, like, we get that flashback episode where all of them go over to Marley for the first time, or go to the mainland for the first time. And then we see, this doesn't happen in that episode. It happens in, I believe, the part 1 of the finale special.
Yeah.
Aaron goes back to that kid, that pickpocket kid, and he's like, I'm so sorry for what I'm about to do. I'm so sorry. And great moment, sure. But like, if you're like, why are you doing it to that kid though? Like, I just don't, why are you doing it to everybody? Like, I follow the track of logic of sheer rage and hatred for people, so long as it sticks to Marley. Adding in the entire rest of the world just doesn't, even as far as like Aaron's character goes, with, as I keep mentioning, with him just hating everybody, I just don't see that being the case here. And like, so much so, even it doesn't look like they agree with it either, because they're having him apologize to the little kid before anything even happens.
Yeah. Well, and I think that moment plays good for the sake of, I've seen what happens, and there's literally no way I can stop it. Like, I'm sorry. It's exactly what I think Grisha tried to do to Aaron also. There's like, I'm sorry. There's no other way. I have to make you a Titan, and you have to eat me, and I have to burden you with this because of this time loop that we're in. And I know that I have to do this, and you are the one making me do this. Like, I'm sorry. And I think that moment plays good for the sake of Aaron's doing the same thing, because he knows that there's just absolutely no other way, and he feels remorse for it, and he feels sorry about it. But yeah, again, to your point, it's like, why, Aaron? Why do you? I don't know. I guess he just thinks that if he kills everybody in the world except for Paradis, they can truly live in peace, and they can truly just exist as a nation, I guess. But like, I guess that's his like train of thought. I don't know.
Yeah. But speaking of that episode of the flashback episode, I love that so much. Just because, and like I cried while watching it because like I came to the realization, especially when they're all sitting there partying with the people down in their tents and whatnot. They're all like drinking and having fun and dancing. I started crying because like, oh dude, this is the last time that they were like all together and the last time that they truly got to enjoy life together. That shit just hit so much. But
Armin, Mikasa, and Aaron just sleeping heads together, and that was really good. I think the rumbling itself, the founding titan, all of the colossal titans, like all of it is just like such a grand moment. It's like the scale is so impressive. And then my girl Hanji, I told you it wasn't a spoiler, but it definitely was a spoiler.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
she's
that
like
edit?
in the edit, she's falling, burning up with like
Oh, I haven't even gone back and watched that one actually.
The edit talks about like an astronaut falling into space, and he's like, as soon as he hits Earth's atmosphere, he will start burning up and he'll just start free falling. And as soon as he does, it transitions to Hanji, and it's an edit of Hanji like falling, burning.
Dude, I was bawling when Hanji died, bro. I was bawling when Hanji died.
When she looks up and sees everyone, she's like, oh, that's what this is.
Oh, dude, that was so good, bro. That was so good. Erwin meeting her. Oh my gosh, bro. Yeah. That's so fire. Fucking Hanji, bro.
The moment with Levi too hits really hard, where he stops her with his fist and he's like, this is your heart and soul to the cause. I thought all of that was really good. It genuinely feels like the world is ending. We're about to see all of our main characters die. They're all gonna like turn into Titans. They do turn into Titans. Jean, my goat. Jean and Connie turn into Titans, and everything is just in a complete downfall.
I just want to say, I'm thinking about the fact that you just said that wasn't a spoiler. You shouldn't have said that. Well, I didn't go back and watch it, but I when you said that, I want you to know my first initial thought, when you told me that it wasn't a spoiler, or last week when you told me it wasn't a spoiler, I was like, oh, okay, then I can probably go back and watch that. But I just never did. So
I told you not to. I told you not to because I re-listened.
I think he backtracks. Yeah,
you were like, "Is that a spoiler?" And I was like, "No," but I still wouldn't watch it because it ruins a moment that's cool if you don't know that it happened.
You did say that,
and okay, you were like, "Oh, okay." I was like,
"You did."
That's the biggest spoiler ever. Like, I can't believe you avoided that. But yes, everything is going to absolute shit, and then we get the moment of Mikasa killing Aaron, her finally breaking that burden, and Aaron's conversations with Mikasa and Armin. We talked a little bit about it, but yeah, I think the moment with Armin is really nice. I think even Armin stopping Aaron from spiraling out of control when he talks about having to send Dinah to his mom. And I think everything there is good, especially Armin's like just cry whenever he sees.
Oh, dude, when he sees, oh my gosh, that I rewatched that last night too. So fucking good.
It's amazing. Good.
Yeah. Even though like it does, like that was part of my problem with animes, like the tropey, like overly over the top, like
oh no,
stuff.
that
but,
is
like that one banged though. That one banged. Like I don't know. That one was fire. Also, I wanted to go back a little bit though. Just some hype moments in Aura, like when they're fighting on top of Eren and like Mikasa's doing her fucking thing and she just fucking it's like she's moving towards I think it's Levi and who is it, bro? It's not Jean because Jean's with Rhina. I don't know, Levi and somebody else. And then fucking Flock comes out, or sorry, Falco. My gosh, Falco comes out of nowhere with the wings right behind her. Oh my gosh, bro, that was so fucking fire.
Yeah, dude. I think everything, like the Rumble, it's gorgeously animated. It is so nice. I was upset because I was watching it on the way home because at this point I was like, all right, Charlie started it. He's probably going to get there pretty quick. I got to finish the show. And so I'm watching it on the drive home, and I did realize in the moment I just made the sacrifice. I had tickets to watch the last 2 episodes in theaters, so I could have just watched an episode, left the 2, and experienced it in theaters. But I was coming home that Sunday night. I would have had to work all day Monday and then go watch it. And there was absolutely no way my wife would have gone for that because I hadn't seen her for 5 days. And I was like, I'm just going to have to make the sacrifice and not go watch it in theaters for the first time. So I watched it on the way home. But it's gorgeously animated. The ODM gear is just awesome. It will always be awesome. We talked about it earlier, the Jean and Rhina moment where he saves them and he's like, because that's what scouts do. And he makes her grand appearance with Falco flying and using his jaw titan to fly. It's all really good stuff. I think it's great. We talked about the Aaron's decision, all of that stuff. Let's talk about the ending because I've had a lot of conversations with my coworkers in terms of the ending. I've watched a lot of videos. And I will say my headcanon, my just what helps me sleep at night, because I still love this show. I think it's I was telling Brandon, I think it's a 9 out of 10. It's up there. Like I will talk about it in the same breath as the Breaking Bads, Better Call Saul, Successions. Like it is in that league of TV shows for me. And I think my headcanon, because Brandon, I do want you to say your piece on like the Titans resurrecting or like the Titans, still being in the story. My piece on this is what we talked about earlier with Aaron doing the Doctor Strange. This is the one scenario that works. I need to make Mikasa and Armin hate me so that they can kill me. And I will erase their memories for that reason so that they cannot even hesitate in that moment to kill me, so that they can be the heroes, so that whenever it comes time that they stopped me and Eldia betrayed their own people for the sake of humanity, then we can finally stop being seen as Island Devils. We can finally stop being seen in the light that we've been seen in. This is the only route to go. This is what I'm going to do. Mikasa and Armin do that. They fulfill that job. They kill him. And then she sits with Aaron at his gravesite and she says, just give me a sign, something that you're with me. And the crow picks up her scarf and leaves. That's it. That is the end of the show. Nothing else that I've seen, nothing else. Like that is my headcanon. Eldia got to exist with other nations peacefully. Now there were still some, maybe some wars or maybe some disagreements because they talk about that at the end. Humanity is never going to be that way. That's just what we've seen in real life, right? That is my ending of the show. Nothing that happens after. I don't need to see nukes falling on top of Eldia as a city and just being a complete waste. Like, I do think that there's something interesting about the fact that Aaron went through all this. This is the ending that we've got, and nothing really changed. There was a little bit of peace, and nations are still fighting because there is something that is dreadful and makes you think with that ending. I don't think there's really anything bad about that ending per se, either that one or my headcanon ending. I'm choosing my headcanon ending because I just want to believe that what the scouts fought and died for was a possibility, which is peace and Eldia being able to exist with other nations and there not being a huge issue there. The scouts fought and died for that. I want to believe that there is some kind of hope in this story that is a possibility. So that is my headcanon. That is what helps me sleep at night when it comes to this show. I don't think the ending that we see in the show is necessarily bad in terms of like nations fighting and whatnot, because we got to see Mikasa grow old. We got to see Mikasa visit Aaron's gravesite with her family. And that means that for their lifetime, for the scouts' lifetime, that there was some kind of peace and there was some type of the ending that I'm saying. Now, humanity is going to be humanity. There's going to be fights, and that's where we see like all the destruction. When it comes to the tree, though, Brandon, because I know this was the big thing, because what it looks like is the founding titan is there, right? The founding titan, the time has gone. There's a big tree. A boy and his dog walk up to it. I was talking to my buddy about it, and I was talking to my coworker, and he said that there is a boy and his dog in Titan form during the rumbling. It is on Aaron's back that he's manifesting with the Warhammer. And at the end of the show, you're meant to believe that this boy and his dog walk up to the tree, and that is they become Titans, and that is what Aaron is pulling from. And he says he doesn't think that there is anything that has to do with Titans in that tree. And again, this is why I want to pick your brain. He thinks that there's nothing that has to do with Titans in that tree because his headcanon, again, some of it is headcanon, is that Aaron in that moment of the rumbling is pulling from past and present and future, and he is creating all of these Titans from that that we haven't seen before. And one of those happens to be something in the future, a boy and his dog in Titan form or whatnot. Well, after they kill Aaron, that timeline is also axed from the future that Aaron was pulling from in that moment. And the tree that they stumble upon is just Aaron's tree, and that's it. That's his headcanon. I'm choosing to cut that off even earlier and say that my headcanon stops earlier than that. But I do want to break down more of your thoughts on the Titan in the tree and why you hate that, your reasoning for all of that.
So I was going through, I was pulling up the Reddit page from when the chapter
yeah.
dropped. It's locked, by the way. They said they had to lock it from negativity.
Oh gosh.
And everybody is kind of having the same debate because I forgot where the anime ended. And the anime, it doesn't end with Misaka visiting, right? It does flash forward to this like shot of the dog.
The post credit scene flashes forward.
Like it shows like all the war. I don't know.
Nukes and all of that. Yeah.
So the tree, I was reading the comments because I was like, this is what I thought, and I realized it was 4 years ago, which makes me feel old. But it's implied that tree is the same tree that gave the founding powers to Ymir, right?
Ymir, yes.
So the theory or the discussion is that it is history repeating itself. The kid is an oppressed kid who's now lived through war. The powers kind of pop back up when needed, and it kind of just is a reset. Take that however you want. That's mostly what everybody kind of agreed on at the time, which made it feel that, and that's how it made it feel to me, is that, yeah, Aaron did this for his friends, and I think that's, I get it. I do. But at the cost of what? And instead of coming up with like an actual answer, because the paths are gone. The original Ymir and Aaron, when they died, it cut off the path. So whatever happens from here on out now is a whole new situation. And I just felt, I get what Aaron's going for. I get, the motives. I understand, but the choices that are made that kind of lead to that, and then everything just repeating itself, isn't something I really care about. And it's something maybe more in the last couple of years where I just don't like endings that are so depressing, where it's like, man, our characters did this and it amounted to nothing. At the end of the day, nothing changes. And I just don't, the world doesn't change. Maybe for a couple of years we had it good, but then after that, it's back to everything just being shitty, and history, just repeats itself. And so that's why I don't like the ending of Attack on Titan. I do agree, Aiden. I still think it's one of the best. I am not as high on it as everybody else, but I told Aiden too that the community is pretty divided on the ending. Like, it's not beloved, but it's also, it's hated and loved in both ways.
Sure.
And you either love it or hate it. It seems to be the kind of mentality. But that's just why I don't like it. I still think the show overall is like an 8.5. I could be argued a 9, but I do think it's like one of the best starter animes for sure.
Yeah.
Charlie, your thoughts as you finished the show?
Yeah, for me, I guess I think I liked it. Thinking about it like that, adding in the aspect of like everybody who's fought and died for this cause of like a potential world without Titans, those who died before even knowing the knowledge that like people like Erwin and whatnot, knowing the knowledge that we have now. I guess like when you put it like that, it makes it a little less satisfying. But yeah, in terms of just like a message, like no matter what you do, history is just going to repeat itself in the end, and more death and destruction will follow. I'm not going to say that's a good message, but a real message, sure. But also, yeah, I don't think that if you want to, it depends on how you want to look back on the show, I guess. Like, do you want to have like that feeling that Aiden wants to have with his headcanon, or do you want to have Not that you want this feeling, Brandon, but the feeling of depression and slight with nukes dropping on the city, and then another kid who has lived through hell coming to start the cycle all over again.
Yeah, and part of me, I should have said this too. Part of me wonders if the ending's message is intentional, that people who come to power through violence never keep power, and so like the whole point is genocide bad. I feel like it's kind of like the underlying
Whoa.
message of like, yeah. Of like, I mean, if you
Holy
abuse
shit.
power, use it like that, then that's what we're just gonna do, is repeat it. I don't know if that's what he's intending to do, but I should have mentioned that too. Which, if that's it, I'm more okay with it. I still don't love that all the characters I liked are just, used for
SOL.
this, but yeah.
Oh yeah. Fair.
I mean, sure. I think I enjoy the end. I'd probably lean closer to Aiden and like cut it off with the bird taking the scarf, because I think that's a great moment. And yeah, I am a sucker though. I'd be lying if I said I'm not a sucker for like just a time lapse of getting to see one spot later and later and later into the future. It's like, it's kind of why that I say this, but I haven't watched it, but that movie that came out like last year, maybe 2 years ago, where the camera's in a fixed position through like the dinosaur ages, and it has like Tom Hanks in it or whatever. The camera's in a fixed position, and you see the dinosaurs, you see all the way up to like the industrial age of America or whatever, and then there's a house built around it, and you see this family grow up and have their kids, and their kids have kids, yada yada yada. I'm kind of like a sucker for that kind of thing, so it was interesting to see, but I mean, I don't know that it really at that point it feels very disconnected from the story, because like it's just showing us like what Aaron's grave, like how long it's been here and what it's gone through, even though at the very end I think is with the tree is the main point that they probably want you to hang on to. I watched the movie for my first, for the finale part 1 and 2, the one that combines them, and it has like the post-credit scene. So my ending was my ending was finding out that it was all a fucking movie. So
Nice.
And I got to see a goth Mikasa and a fucking
nice.
Like a hipster Armin, like a hipster Gen Z addicted to his phone Armin, and Aaron, who just loves his friends.
Yeah. Levi's a cop too, right? Isn't that?
Yeah, no. Levi's the janitor. He's a janitor at the fucking at the movie theater. He does like a spin move and like washes the wall really cool. Like, I don't know. But,
all right, bro.
And it was basically just Armin complaining about the end, like, oh my god, I waited 10 years for that. That was fucking bullshit. And Aaron's just like, I'm just glad I got to watch it with you guys.
Like, everyone's favorite twink, Armin, bro.
Yeah. Fucking A,
well, awesome, man. Yeah, I knew this would be a long one, so I'm not even mad at it. I'm glad that you watched it. I'm glad that you enjoyed it based on what it seems like.
I grinded this thing, bro. Finished
yeah,
in like a week.
That's great. I knew that. Yeah, I knew that you would, dude. I knew it would be something. All of the questions and character motives and character development, I knew it'd be something that you would immediately sink your teeth in. So, next is One Piece. So you want to watch
something else next? Are you?
You want to watch 10 Attack on Titans back to back to back to back? Let's go ahead. Yeah. What is your goal with all of this?
Well, I got a coworker who's telling me to watch Death Note.
Yeah, I think you'd like Death Note.
I mean, obviously you're telling me to watch, what is it? Full Metal Alchemist?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. It's peak. One Piece is my favorite, obviously, ignore all that. But I think it's like just a pure anime experience. I think FMA is like maybe the best.
Okay.
I love Full Metal Alchemist. So.
I have some people telling me to watch Solo Leveling. I have some people telling me to watch JJK. I think I might be into My Hero.
I think you would really like My Hero. I do. The final season just aired, and it was a 10 out of 10.
Really?
I think,
okay.
Yeah. I
Oh,
think
nice.
it kind of stumbles in 5 and 6. Those seasons, I'm kind of like, all right, let's just
Yeah.
get there. But it all comes together in the end and works in a way that I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. We can sacrifice 2 seasons for peak after peak episodes.
Yeah, and then I think there's one other one that like maybe. I mean, I've heard about Vinland Saga, but I don't really know much about it.
Ooh, I think you'd like Vinland. I do.
Yeah.
It's
What about Demon
very.
Slayer?
Demon
I still haven't
look,
finished Demon Slayer.
look, I have a take. This is my problem from being around too long with anime. Demon Slayer is just so generic to me that like I
Mm.
understand the new gen really like it. It's beautifully animated. The fights are cool. It's just to me, it's like a nothing. Like it's hype moments and aura.
Okay.
And so like I mean I think you'll like it. I think the fights are really cool. It's just getting to some of them is what it is. Other than the Mugen Train movie,
Dude,
that movie is
I was gonna
so
say
good.
that movie is still one of the best movies I've ever seen. I think it has
What the fuck?
everything. It is a
I don't think it's
5 out
that
of
good,
5.
but it is like
I
really
loved
good.
it. It was
And that's where
fucking
the series
awesome. I
peaks
love
for
that
me.
shit. Yeah,
Damn, son.
that was awesome. Yeah.
Or you guys can start,
Hey,
clip farming for One Piece. That's what you.
I'm a free agent right now. I think I stopped my anime train because part of me felt like Attack on Titan, like finishing Attack on Titan, I was so tied down to that where it's like, if I'm gonna finish this, I have to record the reactions to it. But then I don't want to start anything else until I finish it. I think just being like, all right, whatever. The reactions aren't gonna come. I need to finish it. I want to talk about it on the episodes. Well, now I'm here. Now I'm done. I do have to watch Avatar because I drafted it for Rotten Tomatoes, and that I'm in the middle of watching the Backrooms YouTube videos right now for the movie this week. But I'm a free agent as well, so
Look, I've been pushing Aiden to watch FMA, so this is your moment to.
yeah, I did, and that's it because Vinland Saga obviously before I started watching Attack on Titan, it was like Attack on Titan was always going to be my next one, but like Vinland Saga, My Hero Academia, like all of these, I just had my pick of the litter. I know you've been trying to get me to watch Full Metal Alchemist for a while, and I've heard a lot of great things, like a ton of great things about it. So I think it finally might be time to pull the trigger because I can't have Charley beat me there. So if I can, if he's in his like taking a break after his first anime type of phase right now, then I'll jump on the opportunity.
I also think you both would like My Hero. I do. I do think both of you would enjoy
I
it.
think so. I think so too. I remember you telling me that was like that was maybe your first. I remember you telling me I think this would be a good one for you because it's superhero and
Yeah,
the
well,
strike or the writer's strike is out right now, so like it's a good
Yeah.
opportunity to start it.
I have so many friends who bullied me, made fun of me for watching anime. Who, when My Hero came out, everything changed. That and Attack on Titan were like the two where they watched them and then they're like, all right, what else is there? And we did nights of just watching through things. And I'm like,
Dang.
screw all of you for this, for years of this, but also like, welcome,
Yeah,
I do think My Hero is really good. I think My Hero has several like super hype
nice.
moments, and I think it also has like a really good story in the end. It's not going to be anything groundbreaking. It's very much a Spider-Man. Like he's very much a Peter Parker type character.
okay.
If that helps.
Whoa, talk to me.
That is Deku.
Deku, yeah, or
Yes,
Midoriya.
I kept-
It's Izuku Midoriya, but his hero name is Deku.
Hmm.
And All Might
Yeah.
is Superman. Like it's like if you took Superman and Spider-Man and put them into a show together. That's pretty much what
Nice.
My Hero is.
Sick animation or no?
Yes, it actually.
Oh, let's go.
Season 1, the finale or the second to last episode had a fight that like changed my perspective of like how fights should be animated.
See, this is what I tell Charley. I'm like, dude, Invincible. Like I tell Charley and Ben, I'm like, this Invincible shit cannot slide, bro, because look at what else is out there.
Especially
I cannot
for like
let this slide.
For like a quarter of the budget, if not
Yeah.
less. Nickels. compared
Okay,
to
hold
what-
on. This is something that I meant to say last week too, in regards to that. Not that I'm defending Invincible, but there are multiple moments, and I don't know if every anime is like this, but if we're gonna rag on Invincible for doing the JPEG, dragging the JPEG across the
all
screen
animes
thing,
are like that. It's all,
dude.
It's all.
Yeah, bro. There are multiple moments in almost every episode where like they just don't want to animate, which is fine. So they just show us a picture of like of characters walking. They just show us a picture, and then their characters are talking over, doing a voiceover over it. And it's like, all right, if we're gonna rag, at least they're like dragging the JPEG across the screen. They're not even doing that. They're just drawing a picture.
I hope both of you watch Dragon Ball at some point, because that's the biggest offender to me, of like the same shot over and over and over again, where you're like, okay,
That's
this is
so
a 20-minute
funny.
episode. Half this episode is just redoing the frame, and it's the same mouth movements. I know it's the same mouth movements.
Dude, actually, speaking of that, thank you, Brandon. Speaking of that, that was a little bit of a thing for me. It doesn't happen all the time with Attack on Titan, but like when you finish an episode and then you go to the next episode and it's covering the like it's just showing you the last 2 minutes of the episode you just finished. I'm like, all right, bro, what are we doing? Like, so then I'm like, but it's not all like, sometimes it's like 1-to-1, but then sometimes it's like showing you a different angle of it. And I'm like, okay, so then, but like, I don't know. So that's not that big a deal.
It's a budget. Well, I don't know how to explain this. One piece would be my easier example of how to explain this. So like, they're caught up in a schedule. They're expected to put these episodes out every week when they sign the contract. A lot of them don't start working on them. I hate how Japan does their animation stuff. Other than, I mean, it's gorgeous, but like their work ethic. So a lot of times they'll include these recaps that are sometimes multiple minutes because they have to fill time. They're like, we can't finish the episode, or at least we can't stretch it out the way we did. And so you'll get a lot of that repeat stuff where it's like, okay, what are we doing here?
Yeah. It's not that big a deal to me. It's just, I don't know, like, if we're gonna rag on Invincible, you know?
Yeah. Oh no, there's plenty to rag on anime about their choices. It's just easy to punch down right now at a $2 million an episode show.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
Yeah,
that's why I like.
Hang up. Yeah.
Sure, I'm not defending it in any way, just because of that alone. Like, and I'm sure we'll talk a little bit more about that if we get to the boys today, because like, golly. No. Which doesn't look like Brandon's going to make it to the boys.
I can go till 8:30. I have a little bit of an extender, so let's.
Okay, there we go.
Because if not, I can talk about anime for a while. So, but
yeah. Well, let's get through these next couple topics. So our